Doing today? Welcome to another photoshopping live stream where it is Prime Day number two, and Prime Day is going until this Friday, July 11th. Uh, and I did a stream yesterday, which was great. Thank you all so much for your support using my affiliate links. So I am an Amazon affiliate, and I will earn a commission on um any purchase you make using those links. And I put some links down below to some of the current deals, but the main one you want to go to is just the simple robtrek.com/deals. And that'll take you to my shopping page where I've curated what I thought were the very best deals or interesting deals. And they're not always necessarily a Prime Day deal. They're just a very competitive price that if you're looking to get this particular accessory or lens or whatever, this is as good a time as any to get one. You don't have to wait, even though it might be a couple bucks cheaper later. Time is money too, right? Your time. So uh, those are kind of deals, and I've been doing this, every week for the last 6 months or so. So I got a pretty good feel for the different kinds of deals we're seeing. And also, I've bought so many of these products myself that I can tell you firsthand what I think about them as well. Today, I wanted to focus a little bit more on bags and carrying carts. So I'm going to go through a few items, stop, answer any questions in the chat section, and then go on and shop a little bit more for some different items. One thing I didn't focus on too much yesterday were camera bodies and lenses. And I do want to talk about that a little bit today. And yeah, that about sums it up. I have a few things coming in. One or two things might come in today, even during the stream. So that'll be fun. We could have a live unboxing like we did yesterday when my Godox flash came in. Also, I do want to talk about flashes as well, because flash photography is really the best way to take your photography to another level. So I can't emphasize enough, your very first accessory in photography needs to be a flash and or tripod, and then of course a bag, and then lens filters, right? These four things will expand your photography more than anything else, or make things easier, right, in the field. So that's why I focus on these accessories, and I try to find entry level type products, not high end, uh, because as enthusiasts, sure we should always have at least one Halo product, like the very best we can afford for a particular accessory. But other things, I think it's not a bad idea to get the cheaper ones, right? The more affordable ones, to experiment a little bit and see if you can really get into this kind of photography. Uh, for example, personally, I did not really get into macro photography until recently. So I put off buying the 60 millimeter macro lens for my Olympus camera. And I went the cheap route. I went extension tubes, I went diopters, to magnifications. And these are very, very affordable options, $30, $40. And you can get pretty much very good macro work. Not quite one to one, but very good. And a couple months ago, I bought the 60 macro because now I said, now I'm going to get into this. I'm going to go ahead and just spend the $400 or whatever it costs for this lens. So that's kind of my approach to it. There's no need to go out and just buy the very best the first time. Uh, and the example I just is a good example of that. So it's good to see everybody here, Marsha and Jeff, and I see Seraphin's here. Always good to see you. So let's just get into the deal page, and I want to talk about some of the things that I found. I forgot to turn my mic on that whole time. Let me just start over real quick. I'm gonna have to edit this stream. And let me give you guys a tip. If you're watching this stream after the fact, after I'm offline, you can set the watch speed up to 1.5x, and that'll speed up the overall stream. And I speak slowly enough that even at 1.5x, you're not going to have any problem keeping up. Unlike some other creators online, man, they talk so fast. I have to slow it down sometimes. So, what I was saying here was what I like about this is very budget entry, 30 bucks, and it has a tailgate. And this gives it some really good uh, versatility, and it collapses down nice and small. This is an entry level cart that you're going to use time to time. This is not a daily driver at $30. Okay, but time to time when you're carrying a few extra lenses, a couple of bags, gear, and the platform will allow you to bring extra long tripods and light stands. So, because I used, I had one of these before, not this, I had a little higher end one, and I gave it to my cousin, and I'm missing it now because I replaced it with a roller bag. But the roller bag is it's great, but it's not great using it in the field, like taking it with me to the park. So that's why I like this one for 30 bucks. It's relatively small. It's only a 23-inch internal, and it's almost 17 inches wide. But the platform gives you some versatility if you have longer tripods and light stands that you want to bring with you, monopods, things like that. A lot of them don't collapse down to 23 inches. A lot of them are, taller, right? 38, between 30 and 40 inches typically for the larger tripods. So I like this. I like the little cup holders in the front at 30 bucks. This is a good deal. It's only 11.6 pounds in weight. So it's very lightweight to carry. Collapses nice. It's a great thing to keep in the trunk of your car when you don't want to wear like a big heavy backpack and carry everything. So I really like this. Okay, the next one here, this is a little higher end one. You'll notice that it has more than double the weight capacity uh, than the previous one, hence the higher price, but this is still an excellent uh, wagon with some additional features. This one does not have the platform, but it has a 36-inch length, which means the inside here, the overall length, is probably about 34 inches. So this is more than long enough for most light stands and tripods to lay down flat inside, so you don't need the platform quite as much. Also, you'll notice down here, we have locking wheels. So if you're out in the field and on a slight incline, this is invaluable, having locking wheels. And then, of course, I really like the side pockets, an umbrella holder, and all of these things, the cup holders. This is the one that I'm thinking about for myself. This is a very similar size to the one I had before, uh, that I paid about $70 for. But right now, this is a Prime Day deal, $45. I like this one a lot. Uh, and then the next one here, this is the same price point, right? About 47.50, with a platform. Similar weight capacity, 350 pounds, but you'll notice it doesn't have the side pocket, right? And it doesn't have locking wheels. So again, you have to watch the fine print, right, on these things where you get one feature and you trade off for another when you're at the same price point. So, but I do like this. It's only 11 pounds, so it's relatively lightweight, and it'll carry all your gear. You see a couple of guys standing here. I wouldn't do that, but if you have a little kid or something you want to drag around in the wagon in the backyard, this can be a lot of fun, especially with the platform. They can hang their legs out the back, things like that. Uh, and then I'll just also mention that if you look at the dimensions, it's only 27 inches inside with the tailgate up. So that's again, it's going to be a little bit tight for a lot of tripods. Travel tripods, of course, will fit in, but I like a little bit sturdier tripod time to time, and light stands, and that's not quite going to cut it for a lot of that kind of gear. Okay, and then this one here, this is a $30 one. This one here, uh, again, budget, entry level, tons of ratings on this one, so it's very popular on Amazon. Looks like it has very good wheels, but no tailgate, no locking wheels, right? But this has a trick up its sleeve, right? It's relatively lightweight and compact, so this is on the smaller side. Let's look at the dimensions. 32 inches overall, so it's probably about 27 inches inside in length. Again, it's not going to be long enough to lay down tripods and things flat, the larger tripods and light stands, but more than enough room for all your gear, lenses, camera bags, flashes, things like that. But the trick this has up its sleeve, you have to go to this page. The the sides unzip, so you can carry longer items if you need to. So that's sort of a nice versatility, gives nice versatility to an otherwise smaller wagon cart. So I like this for the price point and the versatility. What you're missing are like side pockets and locking wheels. But 30 bucks, right? If you just go out once in a while, this is a lifesaver in the field when you're bringing a lot of gear with you. Multiple cameras, multiple lenses, and maybe some smaller travel tripods. Because a lot of times I like to set up 2 or 3 cameras at a time, and it's a lot to carry in a backpack, right? We'll get to backpacks next, but that's a lot to carry. So this makes it a lot easier, especially when you're doing paid event jobs and things like that. You have to bring a lot of gear with you and set up in multiple locations within the event, and this helps you to bring everything in at once. Okay, and then finally, this backpack, this one here, this one here, no kickstand, no tailgate. It doesn't look like the sides fold down either. And the overall dimensions, let's see. Uh, where are the dimensions? This again, this is a small on the smaller side. But what this has that the others don't is a rain cover. So, and well, there's two things that this has that the others don't. The rain cover is one, right? You can always buy a separate rain cover or just use the one that came with your backpack. Uh, but this one has it built in with a nice zipper. So this does a couple of things, right? Protects it from the elements, and two, also protects your gear when you're not looking. Because a lot of times I'll have the wagon behind me. And I don't want somebody just walking by and picking up a lens or camera out of my cart. So having it being able to zip is a really nice security feature as well. And we have the front pockets for your drinks and bottles. We have locking wheels. Now you'll notice on this one that the wheels are wider. Okay. Generally speaking, that's not an issue. I prefer the thinner wheels myself, okay, because they make a little less noise when you're dragging them around, especially on piers and carts. However, having the wider wheel is very, very useful on sand. So if you do a lot of beach photography uh, in sand or wet sand, the wider wheels are going to be more stable. Just imagine the 1 inch wheels and trying to drag that along a wet beach, right? It's going to dig into the sand with all the weight in there. So if you think you're going to be going on the beach, hence, I guess the rain cover makes sense. So it protects it also from wave splashes and things, and security. This is a really, really uh, excellent wagon cart for that kind of thing. And this may suit your needs better than any other ones I've talked about up to this point, right? So I can highly recommend this bag for those kind of situations, right? Security, weather protection, and better maneuverability on, soft surfaces like sand and mud. This is going to be a lot easier to drag around. And the dimensions, they put it here 33. So I would imagine the interior, we're talking probably, again, about 28 inches long and about 16 or 17 inches wide. Let's see if they give, you can never trust the pictures that they put in here because they make it look bigger than it is. But I don't see, yeah, as if, right? Gold bars and cash. Oh, right. I guess our camera gear and lenses are practically gold bars and cash, right, to us. But yeah, I like this wagon a lot for its features. And then I have one more here. This wagon here is $5 more than the other wagon we looked at, but we gained the front pockets here, we gained the locking wheels, and we still maintain the side zippers. So for $5 more, I think it's worth it to get the locking wheels. Uh, and this again, this is about the same size. It also has a little higher rated capacity, but this is again a relatively small wagon. Uh, None of these images really, yeah, these are not real. Sometimes when you go into the user reviews, you can see actual images to give you a better perspective. But I really like this size for carrying everything. So the wagon cart, definitely look at all these different options and think of which one's best for you, ranging from $30 to $48. These are all entry level carts. Use them time to time. If you need a daily driver, you're gonna have to spend about 100 to $150. And I don't think that's really necessary. Uh, because I had one that retails for $100. I paid 70 for it. It was a great it was a great wagon cart, but it was a little bit bigger than I needed and kind of bulky, right, and heavy. These carts are very lightweight, durable enough, and don't cost a lot. So we can go with that. Let me move my window so I can see the chat because uh, I would have caught the audio sooner if I was paying attention. Um, okay, now yeah, my live streams. I see all the comments on the frickin' sound. I'm so sorry about that. Uh, and then yeah, Shri texted me, Jeff. I do have a couple of people. Thank you, Shri. This it's not the first time he's texted me about it. As soon as I heard the beep on my phone, I was like, crap. I anyhow, Robin Monk, yeah, let me just take a minute here. Uh, I I can empathize with Robin. My father passed away about 5 years ago, and I was very close to my dad. And it seems like Robin was also very close to his mother, seeing how he's about to go on a trip to China with her, and that is just brutal. Right on her birthday too. Um, so my heart goes out to Robin. I left a little comment on his video. He has a video, to go over his channel and just leave some kind words of condolences and uh, and that's what's great about this community, right? That we have with all of our other creators here that we all know and love is that it's a more personal relationship that we have with our viewers. It's not just you know uh, reviewing products and doing photo walks. We always try to connect with our viewers on a very personal level and be sincere in our content. And the live streaming. is one of the ways that Robin and I have connected with our viewers on that level. So uh, that's why I love you guys. And if you could go over and show Robin a little love and care um, at this moment that he's going through what he's going through, because it's hard. I can empathize with him a lot. And my mother now is like 82 years old, uh, healthy as an ox, more or less, right, for her age. But I we all have to go through this. And like I was talking about with Roberto's Jerry, and also Ben with his cancer, we have to celebrate life because this life happens, but we need to celebrate our time that we have when we're all in good health and alive and well, and celebrate our past when things change, right? When life happens. So uh, just take a moment if you can to you know, check in with Robin. Okay. Uh, yeah, it's pretty harsh. So anyway, that's about the carts. I don't know if anybody cared about the carts at all. Maybe you just like bags and backpacks. So let's talk about that real quick. Uh, things I like to look for in a backpack, or I'm sorry, let's start with the messenger bags or these sling bag styles. Is, does it have a tripod strap? Yes. Is the strap stitched into the bag itself? I hate those clips. Okay, the clips are just messy. Uh, they make a lot of noise sometimes, but they're just awkward. And I've had clips break on me because a lot of bags at this price point have plastic clips, and they're troublesome over time. So this has those two things, right? It has the tripod strap and it has the strap stitched into the bag directly. And then we look at the overall size of the bag. What can it fit? And this bag meets all the qualifications. Now, this bag has a Velcro front or hook loop front. Sorry. I need to get better at doing these live streams. So I'm looking at this bag from Ulanzi, 8 liters, so it's a little bit on the larger size. Uh, Velcro front, tripod strap, stitched in straps. Holds a lot of stuff. 8 liters is pretty good size, right? As you can see from this. And the straps are angled in a way that you can, put it over your back as like a sling. So it's easier to kind of whip around front to back. And of course, weatherproofing, side pocket for a drink, you know, everything. A little slot for your tablet. This also gives you a good idea of the size and all the individual pockets in here. This is a really nice little backpack. Uh, and it looks very durable. And Alonzi is a good brand. They've really made a name for themselves. You can try these additional coupons. Sometimes you can stack these. A lot of times I found that you cannot stack these. So if I were to click on this and add to cart, and let me just go to cart or proceed to checkout. Give me 1 second here. Someone asked me to stop showing my address when I do this. So if you see here, you can see here that the additional 20% coupon did not go through. So I only got the Prime Day fee. But a lot of times what I like to do is if you use an Amazon Prime store card, I'll just do no rush and get 7% back. Now, a lot of times uh, I'll get the item sooner than later, right? That said, because it's Prime Day, everybody's going to be busy. You'll probably get it on the 17th in this case. It's probably going to take the full time. But when it's not Prime Day, I always typically I check the no rush to get that extra 1 or 2% off, to get the 7% off in this case, so that you save a couple extra bucks, right? And if this kind of item, typically you're not in a rush anyway, so just wait and save a couple bucks. Why not? Penny saved is a penny earned, right? Okay. Uh, let's go to another backpack here. These are the higher end ones. I'll come back to those. Uh, Terrion. Terrion is an awesome brand. Uh, I have one of their backpacks or messenger bags that I'll show you later. 20 bucks. Okay, this is probably a 6 liter bag, so it's going to be a little smaller. But again, it has, you know, the strap is stitched into the bag. Uh, yeah, oh, this is a 4 liter, so this is very small. This is a very small bag. 4 liters is pretty small. So this is good for our Micro Four Thirds gear. I would not be putting any kind of full frame Sony A7R5 stuff in this. It's a little bit too small for that. But it is good for Micro Four Thirds, right? 20 bucks. You can't complain. Uh, this does not have the tripod strap, unfortunately. But on a bag this small, you don't want to overstress it anyway, right? You don't want to be adding uh, more weight than you need to on this. So if you just want a smaller bag, this is a good deal. And then Terrion, this is a little bit larger bag, right? This one is a 7 liter, good sized bag. This will carry everything. Even Sony A7R5 type style, OM1, these kind of cameras. And again, stitched in on the strap, no tripod strap. That's not right. But it's $26. I wouldn't worry about it at that price point. Lots of nice mesh pockets. I love these pockets up here. Just remember to zip them closed. I've had stuff fall out on me because I forgot to zipper it. When you close the flap back down. Front pocket access should also have a rear pocket. I love these foldable type dividers. This lets me stack things on top of each other or put cameras in top down. It collapses in so the grip will fit in a little bit easier. And let's see, side pockets, very good. And pocket here on the top. Again, please remember to zipper this. Uh, I've lost filters and lens caps because of this. And that's about it there. So $27. So this is basically the same thing we just saw, but just larger, right? For $7 more. And the quality I have no question about. Okay, these are backpacks. Let me go to the higher end. Uh, let me go to these backpacks. We'll start on the low end here. Again, Terrion backpack. This is a decent size. As you can see, fits a lot of gears. What I look for in a backpack is a side pocket and lots of dividers. So we have the side pocket here. We have a ton of dividers, so you can organize the gear any way you want. And then, of course, lots of nice front pockets here. Just be careful with this pocket, these pockets here too, because none of them are zippered. So when you open up your backpack, if you're on a little bit of an incline, your laptop, tablet, whatever stuff you have in there could slide out. They have a covering strap here that's useful, so that'll keep your stuff from sliding out. But smaller things, filters and lens caps and things might slide out because nothing here is zippered. We do have a zippered front pocket, so definitely use that for your smaller items like your power banks and memory cards. And we have a handle on the top Nice vinyl polyurethane cover and side pocket for your tripod and a tripod strap. So this is a nice backpack for 50 bucks. And it's a little bit on the smaller side. It's only 7 inches deep by 16 inches high. So I would call this sort of a medium-sized backpack. My guess would be this is closer to 18 liters, maybe 20 liters. They sometimes they list it. They didn't list it. But yeah, I like the Terrion brand, and this is a good deal. If you look at the pricing on this, you can see it was $80 for a long time, and now it's dropped down to its lowest price ever, right? You can save $5 if you want to get a bright yellow one. This is great for uh, camping, right? So you're very visible to other hunters, right? Because if you're out camping, there's going to be hunters out there. And if you want to be visible in the woods, this helps a lot, right? And you save $5. Okay, and here's another backpack. This is a little bit more stylish from Terrion. It's also a little bit larger, I believe. Yeah, this is a little bit larger backpack, but I like the buckles here on the front to get top access. 'Cause a lot of times I put the bag down and I want top access. I just need to grab a couple of things. I don't want to have to lay the bag down, unzipper everything to get out, say, a flash or a lens. I can put my most used items here on the top and just quickly unclip the buckles and we're good to go. Uh, and this is an open. And a lot of times what I do is I will put, let's see if they have it, an interior shot. They don't really show the top part too well. But basically up in here, this area up here is an open space. So you can put clothes in there and food or whatever. But what I like to do is I like to put actually another smaller bag inside that has more dividers, or I just put dividers in so I can separate things a little better. But a lot of times I like to put like a little fanny pouch in there. Uh, like that 4 liter bag that we saw earlier would be perfect inside here. It would just drop right in, and then you can have your backpack on the ground and just have your uh, little 4 liter messenger bag on the side here with your most commonly used accessories, right? Filters, lenses, flash, etc. Oh crap, this is not on sale anymore. Ah, all right, forget it. I just noticed this price. Yesterday, this thing was only like $49, I think, but I guess they sold out. That's the other thing is, and that's a used price. That's not even new. Let's see if we can find it. I have this bag. This is a good bag. Uh, I'm gonna talk about that one. All right, forget it. I'm sorry. I just wasted 10 minutes on a bag. I need to get that off of my page. All right, we'll talk about one more back. Or okay, here's another Terry on backpack. Is this still on sale? All right, this backpack, surprisingly, because I know someone that has like the wandered version of this. They paid a couple $100 for it. This is actually a really nice bag, or style of bag, I should say, because you have this top compartment that they show you stuffing clothes and things in there, like a rain jacket or whatever. But again, this is something that you can put another small bag in there, like a little 4 liter accessory pouch or messenger bag, and carry more gear in if you want to, or you can carry clothes and food because it's separated from the interior of the bag. Also, well, let me double check. It should be separate. Well, once you roll it up, it's pretty much separated. But they're not showing it here stuffed with anything. Comes with a rain cover, a little buckle front for quick access, and it zippers in the front. I like this style. And you don't have to spend $200 for the Wandered version. You can get this one. And what I did with my friend, we brought a couple of light stand. Is I rolled them up in the top. I didn't stuff it inside, but I used that rolling feature and rolled her tripod and light stand in the top, and then buckled it in. So she was able to carry more stuff in this backpack. So it gives some versatility. I also like, side pocket, of course, is important. I also like that this has feet on the bottom. So when you set it down, it's more stable. Of course, if it's very top heavy, it's going to fall over, but this is a lot more stable than not having it, and also protects the bottom in case you set it down in a puddle or something. You're less likely to get the interior wet. So even though this is generally weather resistant material, you don't want to soak your stuff, right? You don't want to soak the bag because that will seep in eventually. I think this is a great deal at $47, considering my friend paid like $180 for her Wandered version. Uh, I don't see any issues with this backpack at all. If you like this style, it's actually pretty versatile, as they show here. You can stuff a lot of things in there, but I would stuff like I said, some smaller bags. All right, this backpack. Okay, this is a backpack I actually own, and I like this backpack. It's on the smaller side. It's 20 liter, but it's really well made. It's weatherproof. I love the top part here. Instead of buckles, they use a hook loop type style. And I don't have any problems with that. Some people said they had problems with this hook loop. Let me just get my backpack and show you. So uh, I got the two-tone version. I think that's the one that I just showed. So it's a little bit of this is a nylon sort of canvas material here. This again is a smoother nylon, and this one opens from the back. It's really lightweight too. This opens from the back, right? So you lay this down on its face on the ground so that your straps don't get wet, or, you know, ticks and bugs, spiders, all that kind of crap. You're not going to get those on your straps when you put your bag back on. Uh, Nice little loops here because all backpacks have this. And then again, here, what I found was these loops are not a big deal. They stay very secure, and you tighten them. There's a little hole here so you can tighten them down. But that gives you access to the top here. And then inside, let me back up a little bit. Inside here, I actually put some additional dividers in here that are foldable. So let me take that out. But I took one of these this is like a foldable divider that I, sort of cannibalized from another bag that I have. But I like this because I can fold these down, and then I can fit my 300 millimeter f4 Pro lens right in there in the top part of this bag. So I put this in here, but if I want to carry multiple lenses and flashes, I just fold this up. Uh, Sometimes, like I said, I put a smaller messenger bag in here, like the little 4 liter ones. But then now, I have two dividers in here. A little key ring thing there, and zip this up, and then fold this over. And this is really weather protected. You don't have to worry about rain or anything. There's a little front pocket here with a zipper. So this is where I like to keep This is where I like to keep my permits and things. Let's see if I have one in here. I do have one of my permits. Oh no, this is a microfiber cloth. But a lot of times I like to keep permits and passes in here when I'm out in the field. And then of course, this one has a very interesting buckle for your tripods. So instead of hanging the tripod off the bottom, you hang the tripod off on the rear. So you just grab a tripod. So what I like to do is just uh, set the camera on. This camera might be easier to use. Let me turn this one on. Let's see what that does. Yeah, all right. So what I'll do is I'll just strap this here and here, and then cinch it tighter. And these have locking clips on the buckles, which I like. So this is really nice. So the tripod's not like on the bottom. So you can set this down on the ground like that, right? You can just set your backpack down, then go in here and access stuff off the top. Can zippered front, side pocket here to access your gear, and then a pocket here if you want to stick a light stand. I've done that, but you know, your drinks and all of that in here. So uh, it's very durable, nice reinforced stitching here, and stitched all together in the handle along with this strap here. So it's pretty durable. I wouldn't pack this. If you pack this full, uh, it's heavy. So I would say, I mean, it can handle it, but I don't like to stuff things so full that I'm like right at the maximum capacity. If you're doing that all the time with your current backpack, let's say you already have one about this size, you need to get a bigger backpack with a waist hook system or waist strap system. But like I said, once this is buckled here, but I get it. A lot of people hate. I'm not sure how to help you with that. Oh, it's okay. A lot of people hate this. I don't mind it. I find it actually, pretty easy and secure. And I think it looks cool. But this is a great backpack. Has the chest strap here also for, cinching things up. But I think the standout feature for this is really just the ability to set your backpack down with your tripod here and access stuff out of the top. So I can highly recommend that. That's a K&F backpack. Um, and as you can see, they have a variety of colors here. If you do a lot of camping, you probably want to get a brighter color one. And wow, they have it in white now. That's a little risky. You're gonna have to clean it all the time, right? Uh, but any of these darker ones, or sort of this bright orange, lots of different styles and colors to choose from. And this deal comes by time to time. It's a Prime Day deal, but I've seen this backpack at this price point many times. So this is one of those deals that now is as good a time as any to get it. You don't need to wait for another sale. But if you do wait or miss this opportunity, don't worry, it'll be on sale again. Okay. But and if you're not in the USA, uh, if you go to Kent Faith's website directly, they have a better deal on this backpack. Another $10 might save another $10 if you go directly to Kent Faith. Uh, but I might do a separate stream for K&F products. Today, I just want to talk about what you can get on Amazon, primarily here in the United States. These are the best deals. Okay. Oh, I didn't talk about this messenger bag. This messenger bag rarely goes on sale. But right now it's on sale for $79, 20 bucks off. Uh, this is the best messenger bag I've ever had. I love this thing. I did a full review on this, but here it is here. Let me switch over to my B cam. This is it here, right? And it's you can see I've taken this out in the rain and mud. This little magnet thing here, so you can carry, for I don't know. This is kind of cool, but this is good for tightening things down, like your Arca Swiss clamps. It's magnetic, so it's always there for you. But there's two key things about this bag that kind of separates it from. I mean, the overall quality is excellent. Okay, quality of materials and build, but this one zipped all the way down. I'm just going to point out the key things here so that you can lay this kind of flat, right? So if I'm on the ground here like this, I can lay this down flat, and then, as when I take my gear out, I can put it down on this little platform here instead of on the ground when I'm trying to find, some gear, right? I can say, okay, there it is. And then I can put my stuff back in once I get the thing that I want out. Uh, Also, the front divider here, this front is adjustable to go back and forth. So you can split this bag in half if you want to, if you have a lot of small things, or you can expand it like I have to carry all the various gear. This front zipper pocket, always remember the zipper. Uh, a pocket here. This is great for like, I put microfiber cloth and I put lens caps in. When I take my lenses out, I'll drop the lens cap in here. Side pockets, of course, and then a magnetic front just snaps right in. It's very, very secure. Then a zippered back pocket, and this is again is where I typically keep. I actually do have my permit in here. I have one of my permits here, and I also have like a mini power bank charger thing that I mount my camera onto sometimes when I'm doing macro work or time lapse or whatever, right? So it fits quite a bit. 6 liters, perfect size. I've carried the most I've ever carried in this is like my Fuji X-H2 and Sony A7R5 at the same time in here with lenses attached, and my GoPro camera, et cetera, et cetera. That's about the maximum. Or if I'm taking my Micro Four Thirds gear, it's going to be like my OM3, my 25 millimeter, my 60 millimeter, my 75 to 300, and the Godox TT350 all fits in here. And then in the side pocket, I put like this mini tripod. Again, for doing macro photography is typically what I use this for. Uh, and one last key feature I'll mention. There's little slots here for holding your memory cards. There's a pocket in here and a pen holder. This is for like tablets, but I put my little diffuser here for, again, macro type photography. But when you zip this all the way up, this thing, this thing is weather tight, because what happens is when you fold this over, you'll see that that top part folds over inside. There is no rain or water getting in this bag, even in a heavy downpour, unless it's magic rain. But otherwise, you're going to be safe. Your gear is going to be safe, I should say. And of course, the strap is stitched in. It unbuckles if you want it to, which helps with storage. Where's the buckle for it? It's stuffed away in here somewhere. I need to pull this out. There we go. So I can unbuckle the strap if I want to, but where it matters really is here is that it's stitched in. Really nice, really high quality bag, $79. If you're ready for a quality messenger bag, $79. This is worth double that, in my opinion, but it's a great deal at $79. Okay, so that's this guy. Uh, it's honestly, this is the best messenger bag I've ever had. Okay, one more on backpacks, and then if you have any questions or looking for anything, let me know in the chat section. So I'm going to go to the chat section after I talk about this backpack. This is a high-end backpack, like peak design type quality, right? Or better, depending how much you like or dislike peak design. I shouldn't say that, right? But this again is an excellent backpack. I usually take this backpack out because I'm carrying a lot of stuff, particularly when I'm going to events or doing a full day of photography versus the little 20-liter one I got. This is a 25-liter, so it's a little bit bigger, and this has the waist strap system so that it distributes the weight onto your waist and off of your shoulders. Makes a huge difference when you have waist straps. And the waist straps are detachable, so you can have them on or not, right? I don't use them very often because I don't like to overpack my gear. But when I do, having the waist strap makes a big difference in how long you can wear a backpack comfortably. The straps are comfortable. It holds a lot of stuff, lots of features. I got nothing bad to say about this backpack. It's very durable, quality materials. Uh, Mine is here somewhere. So this one, let's see, a little wider. This is my EM10. It's dying. I don't know if I can get it to. I just Come on. All right, it's dead. I need to get the new OM5 Mark II, right? And replace that. But here it is, in person, right? This backpack, it holds. I got my freaking tripod in here too. This holds a lot of stuff. Has a nice pocket here in the front, but it's not zippered. So keep note of that. If you're in a heavy downpour, anything in here is going to get wet. So that's the only criticism I have about this bag. But it uses a lot of magnets to kind of hold things together. But there's a locking here. Uh, it locks right in like that. Takes a little getting used to. We have rubberized YKK zippers. I mean, this is all high quality stuff. And this one also opens from the back, right? Just holds. I need to face this way. This just holds a ton of stuff. And this is like one of the inserts that I use sometimes. And I put this in my other backpack on the top that has dividers. You can get these for like 10 or 20 bucks when they go on sale. These are invaluable, but I actually use it inside uh, my backpack because micro four third lenses and everything are tiny, right? So a lot of times the dividers that come with these backpacks, they're big, too big for micro four thirds. So that's why I bought one of these in addition. And this also has a separate section for the top that's adjustable. So when I access here from the top, we have a little mesh here. But again, I got my dividers so I can put multiple lenses safely and securely, or I can take the dividers out and just put my 300 millimeter f4 in here and lay it down flat. I wouldn't be surprised if the 100 to 400 would fit in here as well. But yeah, this is a great backpack. Double layer protection here. So we have a lightly padded area here, and then another zippered padded area here that goes over the front like this. Gosh, I wish that camera was working. But this is zippered pockets on both sides of this. So you can carry lots of little accessories. I typically put USB-C cables and things like that in there. The only thing I'd recommend is, getting one of these dividers, additional dividers or cases, for if you have a small messenger bag or fanny fanny pouch that you can put in here. I've done that too. For a micro four thirds gear, if you're a full frame shooter, you're 70 to 200, you're 200 to 800, all those things will fit in here no problem without the need for additional dividers. But very, very high quality, this bag. This is the kind of bag you buy it once and it should last you like 20 years. I don't know if I'll be alive in 20 years, so this bag might outlive me. All right. So, sorry about that. Um, this bag rarely goes on sale. Now is the time to get it. They have smaller versions, the 20 liter. Uh, again, that's on sale, but I say just go for the 25 liter. You know, on the 20 liter side, I'd probably get a cheaper one because 20 liters, you're not carrying a lot of stuff typically. And then they have a 16-liter sling. What does that look like? That's really small. These are very small. I mean, they're very high quality, no question. But for these smaller items, I would recommend one of the other bags I showed you. But if you need a larger bag, this is the way to go. Very high quality. Okay. Jew, I see Jew had a question, said I'm addressing it. But if you had a specific question about this, let me know. Because this is a backpack I use all the time, and it's great. One other thing I didn't mention is, of course, it has one side pocket. The other side pocket, it opens on both sides, but one gives you access to gear. The other one just gives you some additional pockets. But this has nice little grommets down here on the bottom, so that if you are in a heavy downpour, the water is going to drain out. So that's really, really useful. This did not come with a rain cover. It doesn't need it because it's pretty much weather sealed as it is, with the exception of, and I can't understand why, with the exception of this front pocket, it's all weather sealed. So this is the only weak spot in the design, in my opinion, is that. And of course, it's very comfortable. Stitching is all reinforced, double reinforced in a lot of places, so it's really, really solid. It's gonna handle some heavy weight. Okay. So no other questions on that, Jew, about the VSGO. Let me see if I can find your original question. Hmm. Sorry, there's so many chats in here. I can't find it. Oh, the inserts. Let's take a look. Uh, let's see, camera inserts. Let's just click on Prime Day. This is the one that I have, but it's $20, $18. 27. Oh, Mosisu, this is a good insert. Oh, sorry, you can't see these screens. This is pretty good. Let's take a closer look at that one. Sometimes it's just cheaper to buy a small bag like this, right? Um, I wouldn't get this. That's a little bit pricey. Let's try it this way. Anything under $17. Let's go from high to low. I guess we're gonna have to go a little higher, $15 to $20. These are a bit too small. That's a bit small. That's a purse organizer. I'm gonna go back to the screen. I don't want to mess with you guys with the scrolling. Uh, Overton. That's a pretty big one, though. It looks like there's just two of these at $20. Some of these, this is nice. This is a nice one. Okay, I'll be with you in just a second. I'm just trying to find a couple of decent ones. That's pretty decent. It's a little bit on the small side, but that's a good price. Eh, I like that one, but it's a little pricey. One more page and we're done. All right, I think this is it. So, uh, okay, so we have this one here. I've seen this at a better deal before. Well, maybe not this particular brand. Mosiso is a good brand. So I'm going to add this to my list. But this has some nice dividers and has a little pull string type top to it, and you can take it out and use it, right? Uh, this is a good size. And then this one's a little bit thinner. Yeah, I like the other one better from Osisu. This one's okay. I'm not going to add that. That's not really big enough. Now, this is a bigger one, right? If you really want to expand, this is better for like generic backpacks. Like you have a school backpack that holds books and things, then you can add this to it. Because a lot of people like to do that. They can buy a very high quality regular backpack and then add this to it, and you still come out at a lower price than if you bought a high end camera backpack, right? Because just because it's for camera gear, prices seem to double. But this will be a good deal. It's at a good price too, and you can just carry it. It has its own strap. I like this one. It's a good size. It's 13 wide, so it's yeah, 13 by 6 by 9. This is gonna fit perfectly inside and give you a lot of dividers. So this will be worth the investment at $34. So I'm gonna give you this one. So that's on my deal page. This one here, this has a little bit harder shell to it, or I wouldn't say shell, it's more rigid. And it's also a very good size, but it's a little bit thinner. It's not quite as tall. So uh, the overall capacity is going to be less, but sometimes you don't need the height, right? You just need the width and length, but you don't need the height or the depth, so to speak. But yeah, just enough dividers, holds everything. Nice little pouch up here in the top. That's a little bit smaller than the one we just looked at, but is a nice option. So I'll add that one. This one here is $10 less, but it's very small. Okay. Uh, Tough call on this. This is a little bit too small to be useful in my opinion, so we'll skip this one. That's the one we just looked at, and that's the camera bag. So that is it. So it's really between these two. These are the two main ones. And then the other one from Newer, if you need a little bit smaller, something kind of in between these two. That one from Newer is probably the smallest one of the three, but it's probably the highest quality one too. Well, the Culverton is pretty high quality, but or the Coolertron, Coolertron. Oh, I like that name. I would buy it just for the name. What did you get? I got a Coolertron. That's right. Anyway, hopefully that helps. All right, now I want to move into some flashes. Okay, I did talk about this yesterday, some extent, but the what occurred to me is a lot of you might have questions about the differences between uh, the different kinds of flashes in sense of like round head versus square head, uh, flashes that are more generic that work with any camera versus TTL or camera specific type flashes, and also uh, power output, all kinds of different things about flashes. I'm sort of a flash nut. Okay, I love flash photography, and it's very, very, like I said, it's one of the most important things to expand your photography is if you get good at flash. 99.9% of the time, I shoot full manual. So I don't care if the flash is branded or not for a specific camera. The exception being is Sony, you have to be really careful. Sony compatible flashes, because they have that weird hot shoe, once you get a Sony flash, you can't use it in any other camera. But if I buy a flash for my Nikon, I can use that on my Olympus camera in full manual mode. I can use it on my Fujifilm camera, et cetera, et cetera. So if I buy a brand specific flash, I try to buy one for my Olympus, Nikon, Fuji, Canon. I don't buy it for Sony. That said, non-branded flashes, meaning they're not made for a specific camera, are a lot cheaper too. So you can get the same power output for about half the price of a specific branded specific flash. A good example of that is like the TT600. So let's see if the TT600 is on sale. And if you guys have any questions about flash photography, let me know. Yeah, this TT600. Okay, we'll start with that. Wait, let me add this. We'll add this, and then let me talk about lithium battery. I think I hear a delivery coming. This one has, that's not lithium. I don't see any. I'm sure they have one. Oh, I do have a delivery. UPS. I wonder what that could be. We'll do it. We'll do an open box here. Let me see. This one has. This one I'm pretty sure is double A. Yeah, this has got to be double A. Forget. Don't even think about this flash. They asked me to review this flash, and I said no. Let me go get my box real quick, and I'll finish my thing on flashes here. We get. I think this is a lens. So I think I got a lens. Let's take a look. Um, I'm expecting a few deliveries today because I bought a lot of stuff yesterday. We might get multiple interruptions, but yeah, this is a lens. They just they just overpack the shit out of this. My God, this box is all this huge box for this little tiny lens. If I remember correctly, this is for my Pentax camera. Yeah, but this is cool. uh, I don't know if you guys care about what I buy. I bought this used on eBay, I think, for $140, but it's a Sigma 17 to 50 f 2.8. If you guys remember the old DSLR days, this was kind of a popular lens. And they really pack this thing well. So I'm going to give them a 5 stars on their packing. It's messy, but not a chance this got damaged in shipping the way they packed it. Oh, it looks perfect. It's big though, right? So this is for my Pentax monochrome. Actually, I bought a Pentax K3 color camera too. I bought it for 300 bucks. See, where's the red dots go? Something like this, right? And unlock it, autofocus switch. Ah, perfect. And we can go down to 2.8, right? Yep, very nice. I'm excited. Wow, look at that. I mean, look at this crap though. This is an APS-C camera, and look at the size of this freaking lens. I mean, this is why I love Micro Four Thirds, but they don't make monochrome cameras, so that's why I got this Pentax. Uh, I just love this monochrome. All right, enough of that. So, uh, I could have sworn I remember Godox. They make a TTL generic flash. I think it's this one. No, TT 600, 685. No, these are all AA battery style. All right, so coming back to this thing, $59 uses AA batteries, okay? So the recycle times are going to be a little bit slower as you drain the batteries. Initially, the recycle time is pretty good, 1.5, 2 seconds. Uh, but as the batteries drain, the recycle times drop quite a bit, quite quickly. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're doing event photography. Obviously, you want to invest in you know flashes that have lithium-ion batteries. But for $59, this flash you control it manually, the power. The main thing about this flash is it has a built-in X. It's Godox X trigger compatible, so you can control any other Godox flash with this off camera. It's all wireless, or you can use this flash off camera wireless. I believe it'll even do TTL if it's off camera. But yeah, the Godox 2.4G X system, and when used with the Godox TTL wireless flash triggers, so even though this flash, when you use it on camera, is not TTL compatible, if you use it off camera, it's TTL compatible. So, and the reason being is that it just has a single pin, as you can see, it's just a single pin flash. If you want to get started in flash photography, I can highly recommend this flash. I'm going to add it to my deal list. This flash never goes on sale. It's always like at this price, around $59, $60. You, you're never going to see it. It dropped down to what? Yeah, $59. So if you want a cheap, really good flash, this is excellent. Okay, this is an excellent flash. Uh, Now let's go to my deal page here, and we'll talk about this is another flash. This is from Newer. For all intents and purposes, this is as good as the Godox. Technically, the Godox is a little better, but this price, this is a third to half the price of what a Godox flash will cost you. And Godox is already about a third or half the price of what a brand name like Sony or Olympus or Nikon flash is going to cost. Because you know those are $500 to $800 for a freaking Nikon branded flash. These flashes here, $93, lithium-ion battery, TTL compatible, and they have it for Canon, Nikon, Sony. They don't have it for OM Systems or Olympus. Although I can use the Canon and Nikon one on my Olympus and OM System cameras, I would just have to use it in full manual mode. I can also use this off camera. Now, the reason I picked this one out is because it has the round head versus the square head. If you're going to use the flash in a modifier like an umbrella or a softbox, it doesn't matter if it's round head or square head. Light output's exactly the same. If you're going to use the flash bare bulb like this, the round head is going to spread the light more evenly, and some people prefer that. Most of the time, you can't tell the difference, but in some cases, the round head is definitely going to give you a softer, more transitional light, meaning softer not in shadows, but softer in terms of the spread. The spread is going to be smoother around the seam. And if you're working in two dimensions, like let's say you have a backdrop, right? You're using backdrops and things like that for portraits, I would recommend the round head every time. If you're using it in event photography where you're walking around, square head is fine, it doesn't matter. And if you're using the flash in a modifier of any kind, square head is perfectly fine. The only advantage round head really has is when you're working with more of a two-dimensional space like backdrops and walls and things like that, where you will be able to see a difference. Another advantage the square head has, or one advantage the square head has over the round head, it has really two advantages, but one is it has a little more reach. So if you're shooting things that are far away, like a bird on a stick, the square head is going to reach that bird, fill light on that bird a little bit better, almost a full stop in some cases, than a round head. Because the round head, because like we just talked about, spreads the light. The square head can focus the light a little bit more for distant subjects. Again, for event photography, things like that, it doesn't matter, but I just want to make you aware. The other thing with the square head is they typically have a little diffuser built in, right? And a uh, front diffuser here. So you can use the front diffuser for spreading the light more evenly. Still not as good as a round head, but this helps a little bit. And then the little white card on top, if you're pointing the light up to get bounce flash, this will bounce a little light forward to give a little bit more fill and also a little bit of a catch light in the eyes. The round head, you have to buy a separate accessory to do this, okay? Might cost you $15 to $50 depending on the kit that you get. But this has it kind of built in. So I think for most people, square head is perfectly fine. I like to use round heads because a lot of times I am doing stuff in two dimensions, like with backdrops or tabletop photography, product photography. Round head's a little bit better to spread the light more even. But this is perfectly fine for probably 99% of your flash photography. Uh, so don't worry about it. If for now, if this is your first flash, round head versus square head, get the cheaper one. Almost always it's going to be the square head, but just get the cheaper of the two if you're trying to decide. Okay, let's see. Pucho's asking, does the Godox TT600 have TTL convert to man? No, it does not. It does not have that. Uh, and I don't think that'll work off camera. I'd have to test that. You get TTL in off camera mode, but I don't know if you can do TCM off camera. The TCM has to be built into the flash, not in the trigger, is what my experience has been. And yes, that is a big lens on the Pentax, but not as front heavy when I put my Hasselblad 50 with a tilt. Oh, wow. On my Z50. Yeah. My God. Hassie 50. And oh, I got that one. Oh, so yeah, same question twice. I see. Okay. All right. So let's talk about deals on flashes. So this is a great one. Canon, Nikon, Sony, $93. It has the older LCD display, but it's TTL, lithium ion battery, round head, and it works great. Okay. Uh, and then here's a bunch more. This is a square head, $119. The only difference with this one over the one we just looked at is this has the updated interface. So it's much easier to read. This is really good if it's off camera. Or if you have dying eyes like me and you can't, you're farsighted, this makes a big difference. Okay? Being able to see the power output in large print like this. So I really like that. This is a great flash. If you need the larger display or like the larger display, it's not touchscreen, okay? But they have Canon, Nikon, Sony. I don't know why they have this in there, but yeah, Nikon, Sony. This is a great flash for $119. This is the round head version. If you want to get a round head version, $13 more. Again, if you're doing portraits and two-dimensional type stuff, tabletop product, this is probably a better way to go than the square head. Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fujifilm also. In this case, they now have Fujifilm, but it's not on sale. The Nikon one for $132, that's pretty kick butt. Now, they also have a Pro version. Pro version is just $4 more. Get the Pro. The Pro version has Godox compatibility with wireless triggers. The Pro version also has a more powerful battery. The Pro version also has uh, better heat management. So if you're doing event photography and firing off a lot of full power flashes, the Pro version will last longer with faster recycle times. And so for $4 difference, just get the Pro. They're about the same size. There might be a half a centimeter difference in the length, overall length, but they're the same size. Get the Pro version. So I have the regular one here, the Pro version here, another Pro version for Nikon. Just get the Pro version. Well, in this case, let's see, Canon's $132 for the non-Pro, but the Canon Pro version is $20 more. So I think even for $20, it doesn't hurt to get the Pro version. But if you want to save 20 bucks, you're not missing out much. You're not missing out much by getting the non-Pro. And then here is, yeah, I showed you that one. So those are the newer flashes. Again, they're about 30% less cost than the Godox equivalent overall. So if you're just starting out, I don't see any reason not to start out with the newer brand. And the quality is really just as good at these price points. You can't complain. That said, I'm a Godox guy. I love Godox flashes. I'm willing to pay a little bit more for the Godox because I'm already invested in a lot of Godox gear, flashes and triggers, various triggers for different cameras, various flashes for different cameras. I'm already kind of heavily invested. Uh, and I know how to use the user interface. I know the settings, all of that stuff. And there's some very subtle differences in very specific situations where the Godox is going to perform better. But I think if you're just starting out, it's not worth the 30% extra cost. At this point in my photography life here, Godox is really the only way for me to go. Uh, it's not unlike a camera system. Once you've invested in all the lenses and everything, it's very hard to switch, right? Because I'm not going to save any money by switching. But Godox has, I would recommend this flash, the Godox V1. They also have a V1 Pro. They also have a V100. I don't see any need to spend more than this, $199 for this flash, because The reason it's cheap, it's an older model and it has the older user interface, the LCD interface, as you can see here. But in terms of power output, compatibility, performance, everything's identical, save for the V100 Pros. The Pro versions, they use the same battery, but they have a little bit better heat management. So for event photography, where you're constantly firing off full power flashes, you want to get the Pro version, but you're going to pay about $50, $60 more. It's not like it's not like a $4 difference like we saw with the newer brand. So if we look at the Godox V1 Pro, yeah, it's $80 more. $80 more. Yeah, one other thing the Pro version gives you is you can attach an external power supply to it, so you have virtually unlimited flashes and faster recycle times, all of that. Also, and that's really useful if you have the flashes, like multiple flashes mounted in high or awkward places. You don't have to go out and change the batteries every time they run out. You can just leave everything set up. You don't have to, worry about that. And there's multiple variations here. Again, they, but the thing is, they do have it for Olympus Panasonic, whereas newer does not have Olympus Panasonic flashes. So it may be mandatory if you want TTL compatibility. You're going to have to get the Godox. They're the only ones that have Olympus Panasonic compatibility. The newer does not. Uh, but if you're shooting Sony, Nikon, Canon, Fujifilm, if it's your first flash, it's okay. Start with the newer system. But if you're an OM systems person like me, Godox is the only way to go. That's another reason I'm kind of invested in Godox, is because they're the only ones that have OM systems, Olympus, Panasonic. All right, so any question on those flashes? These are the full-size on-camera flashes. Of course, they all have built-in transmitter receivers, so you can use them as transmitters to control other flashes, and you can also use them off-camera because they have built-in receivers. Everything works perfect on that front as well. All right, let's talk about some of the tiny flashes, right? The one I recommended yesterday is still on sale. Thank goodness it didn't sell out. But as you know, some of the OM system cameras and a lot of cameras don't come with a pop or a small pop-on flash, like a little accessory flash like this. Like on Olympus, it would be the FLM3. And this flash has really one huge advantage, other than being tiltable, right? Is you can use it off camera. It comes with its own trigger. So if you look at this picture, you can see that the flash actually detaches and you can use it off camera, which is great for macro photography, close-up photography. You get side lighting. That way you get more detail and texture in your images. This is great. Uh, I cannot say enough good things about this flash for $39. I should just get one. I don't really need it, but I'm going to get one. I just can't pass up that deal. So I highly recommend this flash. There are cheaper alternatives if you don't care about that. Godox has, these are generic flashes, work with any camera that have a single pin. Uh, this is lithium ion, and this is a decent little on-camera flash. It's very tiny, as you can see. USB-C charging, and that's kind of what it looks like on I don't know, that looks like an old XT20 or X20, X30 Fujifilm. But very small, very compact, give you just enough fill light. You can also use it to trigger other off-camera flashes in full manual mode. But there is a cheaper option, okay? This one from Ulanzi. pretty much the same thing, but $10 less. Like I said, I don't know if this coupon's gonna work or not, but I don't think you can stack these. I tried that before. Try it. If it works, it works. If not, it's okay. 20 bucks. So if you did not get an FLM3 or a compact flash, so what is this good for? I'll show you. Because maybe you don't like the, why is that? Maybe you don't like that harsh look, right? So you need to get one of these diffusers. I was doing this morning. This is a little bit larger pop-on flash, right? But this, and I have my macro diopter here in the front because I don't have a macro lens for my Sony camera. But yeah, this diffuses the light very nicely. I get very close to my subjects for doing macro work. It's perfect. You can get this for about $10. And I'll talk about these items here if you want. Uh, but yeah, you can just add a little diffuser on like that if you want a little more diffuse light. It's more useful for macro and close-up photography than it is, say, doing portraits or events. But uh, this is the most practical way because the Olympus OM system cameras have focus stacking built in. You know, like the OM5, OM1, OM3. Focus stacking with flash, something the Sony does not do. Just so you know, Sony has focus bracketing, mechanical shutter only, no flash. You can do it in silent shutter, but then the flash is disabled. OM Systems OM3 not only can do focus bracketing with flash, can also do in-camera focus stacking. And that's where a little tiny flash like this with a diffuser, you're all set. And this is way cheaper than the FLM3. The FLM3 is like $70 right now, if you can find it. Uh, this is a great option. There's another one here. This Ulanzi, this is pretty much the same thing. It's just a little bit brighter, I think. This is a GN8. This was a G. Oh, they're both GN8s. Why is that one $2 more? It's the same thing. All right, so just get the other one. I need to take that one off. I thought I had more choices here. This one here is, this is also probably a Guide 8, right? It doesn't say, but it's going to be about the same brightness. I would just get the Ulanzi one for $10 less. And then I would also get, I would definitely get this one here. It's worth the extra 20 bucks to be able to take it off the camera and use it off camera. I really like those. Okay, so I see a couple of questions here. So is the F2 okay on the EM5? So which one was that? Was that yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect for the EM5 Mark III. Perfect, perfect. It also has a little modeling light on the front, which is good for helping your camera to focus. It'll shine a little light on the subject, and then you can take a picture. Okay, and so I got the Godox months ago. It's nice, awesome. So I assume you mean this little tiny Godox, right? The IM20 or the I30. These are all great, great flashes. A new flash that's come out from Godox, I just got it in yesterday, is the, I forget what this is called, a 4 something. It's a really nice flash. I'm going to do a review on this. Oh, it's a 480. They're going to have it available for all the other brands. Sony's the first one to come out. It really sucks for me. I'd much rather have Olympus, Panasonic, even a Canon or Nikon, because I can use Canon, Nikon, Godox flashes on my Olympus cameras. But uh, the problem with Sony is because they have these extra pins, I can't slide the flash all the way so that this pin connects. I wonder if there's an adapter I can get. I don't know. Anyway, just to give you a comparison, here's the TT350. I would not get the TT350 anymore. I would just get this. This is a little bigger, but it's a lot more powerful. It has a lithium-ion battery. Uh, it has the updated, LCD touchscreen. It's like 150 bucks. This is about $80. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. It's worth paying double the price to get this. So much more going on here than with the TT350. The TT350 also comes in a lithium ion version. It's called the V350. It's like $140. Just get this. Get this. By far and away, get this. When it comes out. If you have a Sony camera, you can get this now. But uh, for all the other brands, we're going to have to wait a little bit. Hopefully, I can get one for my Panasonic. Yeah, the IM20. Okay, cool. So Photomaker got the IM20. All right, now there's a couple of new things here from yesterday that I want to talk about. This card reader, this is also on my deal page. This is a high-speed UHS-2 card reader and memory card holder. So you can hold in there like 6 memory cards, maybe 7, and also use it as a read writer. And it's also, you can plug it directly into your phone and copy things from your phone to the memory card or back, right? Or into your tablet, whatever. So it also works like a portable hard drive because you can get these 1 terabyte SD cards now, right? Uh, I think I've seen 2 terabyte. That's a little risky, but certainly if your phone is getting full, you can offload pictures from your phone onto your SD cards and then put them on your computer later. But the main thing is that it's a memory card holder and SD card reader all in one. So this is great for people in the field where you want to separate your memory cards for video, JPEG, whatever. People separate memory cards for different reasons, not because they get full, but they have workflow issues, right? Or workflow reasons, I should say, for separating memory cards. So this is an excellent option for $48. I might be able to get one of these in for review. I don't need one because I don't have a workflow that requires me to have all separate memory cards. Uh, and I already had card readers. So there's no reason for me to buy this one. But if I didn't have a card reader, I would just get this. I would just get this, no question. Yeah, UHS-2 compatible. So you're not going to find a UHS-2 compatible card reader at this price. All of them cost like $60, $70. I paid $79 for mine for a card reader. Uh, that was UHS-2 compatible. It looks like this also has a CF Express in it. Let me see. Yeah, CFA, CFB, and SD. So this also uh, can record CF Express cards, which is the future of, for OM systems, I believe. They're going to switch to CF Express A. If you ask me, that would be the smart way to go. But yeah, highly recommend this. Another thing, this memory card, this was $5 cheaper yesterday. But CF Express Type A card for Sony cameras, uh, 240 gig. OWC is a great brand. This is a good deal. And then let me see, CF Express Type B. Next Storage is very good. Very good brand. Super fast card, 512 gig for $89. This is for like all the other brands, Canon, Nikon. They all use the CF Express Type B card. Sony's, I think, the only one using CF Express Type A. But these are CF Express Type B. Uh, I I would imagine OM Systems is going to go with A rather than B because they're smaller. These are a little bit larger. But what you can do is you can get this memory card together with uh, this device, and now you have a 512 gig hard drive, portable. You know what I mean? So I might have to get this and experiment a little bit because there's a lot of people that travel that need to manage their files, and this makes it simple and straightforward. Supposedly, you can copy from one card to the other using this device as well. So it has some sort of splitter in there for the memory cards. I forget what it's called, but they have different lanes through the USB-C, so you can read multiple cards at the same time. All right. Any other questions at this point? Because I'm just going to talk about a couple lenses real quick. I don't see any in the chat. Okay, so lenses. This is an interesting lens for $92 for Olympus, OM Systems, Panasonic, Micro Four Thirds. My experience with Yongnuo is not good. Uh, but I've seen reviews of more recent versions like this one and the 42 millimeter version 2. Everyone says it's fine now. I had the version 1 of the 42 millimeter and it sucked. I hated that lens. The optical quality was fine, but the autofocus was just unusable. It would focus, but it was slow, it was noisy. I don't know anything about this lens other than it's $92 for 25 1.7. If it sucks when you get it, Amazon has a very liberal return policy. You can return it. If anyone has this lens, let me know what you think of it because I don't know. Because you can't always trust reviews online. I'm one of them, but you can't always trust reviews online. But I know I bought this lens, the 4042 version 1, and it sucked, but people have reviewed the version 2 and said it's great. So I don't know. 92 bucks I think is worth a risk. Personally, I would buy uh you'd have to spend double or triple or quadruple the price, like $400 for an Olympus 25, $200 for the Panasonic. It's tempting. If you bought like $100 Micro Four Thirds camera on eBay and you want to get a cheap lens, this makes a lot of sense. You have a perfect street kit for 100, 200 bucks, right? Okay, Viltrox is just kicking butt here. Just when you click on this link, you're going to see all the other Sony lenses from Viltrox. So even if you don't want the 85, just click on that link and you'll see all the other lenses on sale. 80 bucks for this lens. I can highly recommend this lens. It's great. I've had a lot of these lenses for review sent to me. They're all great lenses. The one that I kept and didn't sell because I don't really shoot Sony, otherwise I would have kept them all. The one that I kept for my Sony camera was this lens because it's so compact. The downside is the aperture is fixed at f4.5, but the lens is sharp, it autofocuses well, super lightweight, compact. It's like a body cap lens. And it's $79. Can't beat that. Another really good lens is this one, the 56 1.7. This is available in Fujifilm and I believe Nikon as well. Uh, Excellent lens, super small, super lightweight. No complaints here. Great image quality. And then they have their pro lenses. When you start paying more for these lenses, like this 135, everyone that reviews these higher end lenses, like I know this lens for Fuji was rated very, very high. No complaints at all. These are G Master pro level lenses in terms of image quality. You don't have to worry. Even their budget options, like I own this lens for my Fuji. This lens is so good. So whether you get it for your Sony APS-C, this is an APS-C lens, or your Fujifilm APS-C or your Nikon APS-C, 23 millimeters on your APS-C camera is going to be what, about 38 millimeters? This is an excellent, excellent lens. Super sharp, super fast at 1.4, sharp wide open. No complaints about this lens. This is a lens that I actually bought for myself. I didn't get it for review, but I know it's very good. I got it from my Fujifilm. So what I need to do is Viltrox 23 millimeter for G. So I'm going to add this to my list. So if you have a Fujifilm camera, just click on this link and it'll take you. You can buy any of these. You're going to be fine. And these are all good deals. These are all excellent, exceptional lenses for the money. No problems at all. Let's see. Do they have it for Nikon? Oh, this, yeah, 23. This is the older one. Oh no, this is the same lens, but the mount is bigger, so that's why it looks different. I'm gonna add this to the list. These are excellent lenses. Uh, Now for Nikon Z, what do they have? They have a 35-1.8, a 50-1.8, a 56 1.4. Just be conscious if these are APS-C, right? Like this one, I'm pretty, yeah, just watch out. Don't buy it for your full frame camera. Most of these are APS-C lenses. How about the 75? The 75 is also APS-C. So just be careful of that when you're getting these. If you shoot with like a Nikon Z7, APS-C is fine because when you crop in, you're still getting like 20 megapixels. But uh, now when it comes to manual focus lenses, 7 Artisans, TT Artisans, there's a lot of those on sale. Like the 75. This is the swirly bokeh lens, $231. This comes in an M42 mount, so you have to get the adapter. I talked about this lens yesterday a little bit, so I won't go into it again. But this, for $231, you cannot complain. And then all of these other lenses. Here are all the TT Artisans that are really good uh, for the money. You cannot beat these lenses. Okay, not at these prices. One other lens. If you have a Sony Nikon camera, you want a full frame portrait lens, get this lens. Don't get the 85. The 85 is so much bigger. This 75 is tiny. It's tiny compared to the 85 1.8s. And yet the optical quality, in my opinion, was better. I really like this lens. So if you have a Sony, Nikon, or L mount, okay, for $159, man, you cannot beat this. See where this thing is. I don't know where it is. Probably out of my studio. But I'm telling you, this lens, E mount, this is the one that I have. This lens is awesome. For the amount of money they're asking, and then L mount. This is way better than the 85 in terms of size and weight. Optical quality, I would say, and I'm talking about the generic 85s. If we're talking about the Sony G Master 85, okay, no competition, right? We're not worthy. But this one here, when we're talking about up to say $600 or $800 lenses, this lens for $159, hands down. And let's see, I see some comments here. Let's go to the chat section. So Photomax, I got the Sony leather case custom size for the RX 107. The shoddy material started flaking and splitting 4 months of light use. They won't honor the, really? What brand was it? If it was from Mega Gear, these are the ones that I buy. Did I? Let me check my text. Got another delivery coming. Okay. So, uh, I think it's um, Mega Gear. This is the brand that I buy. I haven't had any problems with this. So I bought some extra screws. This has been good stuff for me. Let's see if they have it for the RX 100. I don't know. Is this the one that you got and you said the leather's flaking? That should not be the case. Let me know. Because this is a nice case. I'll add this to the deal page. Maybe get this one instead. Um, and Serge says, I just bought the Panalica 8 to 18 F2 to 4 to replace my Emslico 9 to 18 for 480 euros in very good condition on Amazon. Really? That's, well, let's see what it is here in the US. Uh, yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, they're really expensive here. You got a killer deal. Killer deal. I don't have a feel for euros and pounds and other currencies. I know there's great deals going on like you just showed, but I don't have a feel for the currency, so I don't know. I cannot find the deals like as easily as I can find here on Amazon USA, unfortunately. That's a killer deal. So how you doing, Serge, by the way? It's good to see you. Um, and the OM52 and the OM5 are great, yes. Uh, let's see. OM-5. Let's see what deals they have on that. So 899, yep, very good. There's the grip for the OM5. This I can highly recommend. I have this grip. It works great. This is for the OM5 and EM5 Mark III, this grip here. 899, 699 with the lens. That's a good deal. I like the little EM10 series. I need to replace mine. I'll probably replace it with an OM5 Mark II. Let's see if District Camera has them in stock now. I like to buy locally when I can. You know, camera bodies anyway. Still on pre-order. I'll wait. I'll wait. But turn this off. That pretty much wraps up the deals I wanted to highlight today with the carts, the bags, backpacks, and flashes. And then a little bit about the Viltrox lenses and the little tiny lenses too. I need to order mine, by the way. Let me hit my buy button or go to cart and buy this thing. Item in your cart changed from $28 to $40. Really? Which one? Oh, I hope you guys got this. This was $29 yesterday. Now it's $40. Little mini tripod. I didn't talk about tripods today very much. I did buy one though. Um, I bought this one. This should be coming in next week, and I can talk about it next week. This is a great tripod, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy this other thing. So I think it's gonna be a great it's a great flash for everybody. If I make a video about it, uh, I think you guys will really like it. Unless it sucks. If I order this and this thing sucks, I'll let you know. But I think it'll be okay. So expect this. So I'm gonna get it in tomorrow. Maybe we can do a live unboxing of it tomorrow. Says it should be delivered tomorrow. Um, so I had the same style Sony branded case. Oh, okay, for 12 years. The one I got for the 7 was defective materials and build. I wouldn't buy from Sony. They're difficult and oh wow. So you got an OEM Sony. I've bought a few of the Mega Gear ones. I really like them. I mean, for the price point, I've spent more on another leather case that's even higher quality, but I paid double the price, if not triple. No, it's about double. Because I paid like $25 for one, and I think I paid almost $100 for the other one. There is a difference when you go from like 25, $30 up to $100. It's the overall fit. You know, the Mega Gear ones, they're cheap, good quality, but I had to kind of mold it a little bit to get it to fit just right. All right, I think I'll call it here. If there's no other questions and deals, I'm just going to do one last quick check on my deals and see if there's anything else I wanted to highlight. I talked about these yesterday. This is the thing. A lot of deals, they don't last that long. Deals I had on my thing yesterday are gone, like that mini tripod. So if you see any deals here during the stream, if you're live, I would jump on it now. If you're watching this later, that deal might be gone, but try and get it if you can. And as you know, I'm running my streams now without ads this month, just to see how it goes. So I'm going to relying totally on your generosity of using my affiliate links, so I can make $1, $2 on each item. Depends what it is, you know. But if it's like less than $100, I might make like $2 or $3 at most. Sometimes I make 50 cents, but that's okay. I want to get you guys a good deal so we can go out and have some fun with our cameras, right? Um, and Dom says you have to be careful buying expensive lens and camera bodies on Amazon. Some of the product is international. Yes. So let me let me let me see if I can give a little guidance on this. Camera bodies I rarely buy on Amazon, if ever, for for the reason that T Dobbs is talking about, partially. Mostly because I like to support the local brick and mortar store when we're talking about camera bodies and expensive lenses. I try not to buy expensive lenses, but my high-end lenses, like my 300 f4, I bought locally, right? Authorized dealer. But sometimes there's a deal on Amazon. It's hard to pass up, right? So you have to be careful though. But let me pull up like Canon R6. Let's see what Canon camera. Let's see what's the most popular one. So we'll sort by bestsellers. Yeah, of course, the Canon T7, the Canon R50. I can't. Why are these? Let's look at an R6 Mark II, because this is some bucks, right? This is not the kind of money you want to spend and find out you have no warranty. So this is being shipped by Focus Camera. So look who it's being sold by. Number one, right? You can click on that and look at their ratings, 92% positive. And usually you can visit their store, but usually they might have a website too, right? Focus Camera. And then what you want to look for here is Canon. Canon R6 Mark III body only. And usually in here, they will tell you if they're an authorized dealer or not, if it has a USA warranty. Okay. Let's see. They should be an authorized dealer. You can find it eventually. I just don't know where it is on this website. But these guys are most likely an authorized dealer. There's a way to find out. Usually when you click on the product and then check the warranty, they'll tell you. 30-day return, Canon RF in the box, limited 1-year warranty. They're not advertising that they're an authorized dealer, but I guarantee you they are. So that's one, right? So check the seller if they have a website. The other thing is, a lot of times in the Amazon description, there's a link to the warranty. Where is it on this one? Might be all the way down here. Jeez. Let me just do a find. Yeah, they don't say. Minority owned business. They don't have a link to the warranty on this page. So this is what I mean. Number two, sometimes you can look on this page and they'll have a link to the warranty and it'll tell you if it's a USA warranty. But once you get the camera, you order the camera from Amazon, it comes in, try and register the serial number with the Canon website, Olympus website, whatever. Try and register the serial number for the warranty. And then that'll confirm whether or not you got a USA model and not an international one. That's the best way. So maybe this is the R6 Mark III out or something? No, it's not out yet, right? It's still the R6 Mark II. So here's an R8, $13.99, beach camera. Do they have a warranty? Yeah, see, no warranty card sticker. And this was a couple months ago. So you can check the comments too, right? So just be careful. The only place online that I buy from, if I'm going to buy a camera online, is B&H. Uh, B&H or Adorama, they're authorized dealers, and they have the same price as everybody else, pretty much. So thank you for that reminder. Are there any film photography deals? So let's see, the Marked Wolf. I gotta close these windows. It's just too much. I don't think if you're talking about camera bodies and lenses, eBay is probably the better way to look for those kind of deals. The only film camera that's out recently is let's do Prime Day deals. Well, let's do this. Uh, electronics, camera, photo, and video, film photography, Prime. A lot of pocket cameras. Let's sort by price. Yeah, I assume you're talking about like 35 millimeter film, not this instant camera stuff. These are okay. I don't see. I mean, if you want to get an instant camera, Polaroid is popular. I like the Fujifilm stuff, but I don't see any of the Fujifilm Instax on sale. Let's try this. Yeah, there's nothing from Fujifilm ever on sale. And when it is on sale, it's minor, right? You might as well just buy it at full price instead of waiting months to get it, if it's even available in stock. I don't really see anything. Sorry about that, Mark Wolf. I don't see any deals on any of the, you can get Polaroid, you can get Fujifilm. I would avoid like the Canons. Uh, well, some people like the ink ones. What do they call it? The zero ink type cameras that Canon makes. I have one. I gave it to a friend of mine because I never used it. But the Canon Ivy, I don't even have it in here. Canon, what do they call it? Click? I don't even see their cameras on here. Lots of cases. The price high to low. Canon Ivy Click 2. Yeah, it's not a they're not selling on Amazon, are they? Canon Ivy. Let's look at all departments. I mean, these are fun little cameras, but yeah, they're not selling on Amazon. But I know the Pentax film camera that just came out is not on sale. That's the Pentax 17, right? Yeah, it's 500 bucks. It's a neat little camera. I got so many film cameras, I'm not going to buy this, but it's kind of a neat little camera. You can get a list of all her. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's right. If you go to Canon, I'm not since I always buy from like my local store, I never really had to go through that workflow of making sure I got an authorized dealer. You're safe with B&H and Adorama and going to your local camera store otherwise. Like I go to District Camera, but buying online from Amazon, it's a risk because even when the Canon R5 Mark II came out, I saw comments of people ordering because it said sold by Amazon, delivered by Amazon, right? You would think Amazon was an authorized dealer, and I'm sure they are if you look at the Canon website. But then people got the camera in, tried to register the warranty, and Canon said, no, this is an international camera. and they paid full price. It was a pre-order. Um, let's see if we can find that Canon R5 II, right? Canon R5 Mark II. Let's go to the Canon store. Cameras, mirrorless. Ideally, if you go to the Canon store on Amazon, then click on one of the cameras from here. It should be from an authorized dealer. Okay, let's try. There's the Canon R5. Where's the Mark II? R5. Let's shop it this way. Canon R5. This is not the Mark II. I can't believe they don't have the R5 Mark II listed. That might explain why there was no warranty because it's not on Canon's Amazon page. Yeah. See, you have to be careful. Who is this one sold by? How about an R3? Let's go really high end. R3 shipped and sold by Adorama. So you're okay here. You can go here to the R5. Who is this sold by? Beach Camera. I know they're authorized. I'm familiar with Beach Camera. So that's another way to do it, right? Every camera and manufacturer. So if you really want to buy on Amazon, you can, but I would do it this way. I would go, let's say I want the OM5, right? If I want the OM5, I'll click on here, then I'll click on the OM system store, and then I'll look for the camera on here. So if I want to buy the OM3, just click on see details, it'll take you to the page. This is sold from Focus Camera. So I'm sure Focus Camera is legit, but because the manufacturer on Amazon's shopping page, they should not be linking to an unauthorized dealer. That wouldn't make any sense to me. But all right. Uh, Portrait film is now $85 per box. Yeah. Uh, see what T Dobbs says. Walmart is bad too. Yeah, forget about Walmart. They are full of like Six Save is not authorized. They're selling international stuff all the time, and then they try to upsell you to a anyway. I did buy an international lens for my Sony camera, the kit lens, the 28 to 60. I paid like 200 bucks for it because I knew it was an international version, but I was like, why buy a used one when I can buy brand new international for the same price, right? That was my thinking. So I ordered it, and then I got a call like the same day or next day saying, we're out of stock at that price. Not, but they just said we're out of stock of that lens. We do have, and they were upfront. That's the international version you ordered. We do have USA warranty ones at the regular price, but I can give you a deal on that, but nothing near the price of the one that I ordered, right? And I said, well, when are you going to get the international one in? Oh, it might be like 3 to 6 weeks. I was like, no, it's okay. I'm not in a hurry, right? So I just waited. And about a week later, my lens came in at the price I paid and what I ordered for. But a lot of these places, they will try and upsell you. They will call you and tell you, no, we don't have the lens in stock, even though it's in stock on their website, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered it. but it said in stock. I ordered it 200 bucks, and then that day or the next day they call me and says we're out of stock. We'll sell you the USA version. I'm like, well, how much is that? It was a little cheaper than what I could buy it on Amazon, but it was like still like almost full price. And I was like, it's okay. I can wait. I can wait 3 to 6 weeks. I'm not worried about that lens, you know? Ah, yeah. Let's see if 35 millimeter film. If you're actually looking for rolls of film, I don't shoot color very often, but usually I find the best deal is that Fujifilm 35 millimeter. The Yeah, this stuff. I think they changed the formula since I last bought this. None of these are on sale though. But you can get a three pack of 36 exposures for $25. That's not bad. Here's the 400. How much is the 400? For this is 200. That's a little bit slow. 400 three-pack is $38. Kodak Ultimax three-pack, $32. So I would get the Ultramax. Yeah, Portra, man. You're gonna pay some bucks, man. If you want that fancy pants stuff. Uh Portra. Are you kidding me? Two-pack is $54. Hectar is $52 for a two-pack. Hell, I should check my fridge. I got a bunch of this film in my refrigerator. I should probably put it on eBay and sell it. It hasn't expired yet. Holy crap. Yeah, retailers are following the Hermes sales taxes. I know, right? Holy crap. Let me check my fridge. Oh, no. Yeah, this is Kodak. Oh, this black and white. Black and white. Oh, yeah, I shot all my color portraits. Should have been more careful. I didn't know it's going to go up in price. It's my portrait. That color. Yeah, this is portrait, I think. I think this is my portrait. But I think if you like black and white, this was a good deal. This Kentmere was a pretty good deal. I still got a couple years on this. This is hard to get now, right? Fuji Superia. This is 1600 too. When did this expired though? This will be fun to shoot. Like expiration date is rubbed off. Anyway, this is dead, meaning it's expired, but I can probably still use it. But supposedly that's kind of in demand. Let's see, Fuji Superia, $65. Wow, $150 for two rolls. Wow, wow, wow. That's insane. So Portra, let's see. I think this is my Portra. Yeah, I got a couple of rolls of this Portra 160. I better be very careful what I shoot with this, man. This is expensive now, isn't it? And then this is a little bit older stock of Fujifilm. Uh, this is Fuji Superia. I don't think they sell this anymore though, because the stuff they sell now is not the Portra. I think it's the same thing as the Kodak. It's a Superior Extra. You guys know anything about this one? This one might be worth some money now, right? This is a Superior Extra 400. Let's see if they have it. Fujifilm Superior Extra 400. Oh no, this is still cheap. $28. Okay. I thought maybe I had a gold mine here, but I don't. Nothing special about this. They still have it at Walmart for $28. That's about what I paid. Dang. Oh, this expired last year. Crap. That's not bad though. 1 year. It's probably still good. All right. I'm going to call it here. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for your support from yesterday. Hopefully, you guys will find some good deals today and use my links. It's greatly appreciated. And I'm going to go out and take some photos with my new lens, my 17 to 50 on my Pentax monochrome. And I have a Pentax K3 coming in, Mark 1, which should be really good. So if X Meta, if you watch this, thank you so much for your help on that. And you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your life, whatever. Enjoy life, celebrate life. Make sure you spend time with your closest friends and family as much as possible. You never know when you won't be able to do that. So, as we've seen in these recent weeks with our fellow creators here. So, again, my heart goes out to Robin Wong and his family. Um, and we'll end it here. I might come back on tomorrow. I don't know. I have a photo shoot tomorrow, actually. But if I have time, I'll come back on tomorrow. I'll try and find some new deals that we can talk about and uh or anything else, right? It's just a live stream. We can do whatever we want. So you guys have a great week. Thank you.